What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. So we're actually going to get started a little differently today. RedBox is going to join us right off the bat. RedBox, how's it going?
Jake, it's going good. I'm just coming on. I figured I'd come chill here before my NFL fantasy draft this afternoon.
Oh, okay. What time is that?
PM.
All right. Well, best of luck. I know season's getting started. I've done a couple myself. Might do a couple more. We'll see what happens.
I don't know what's going on with or they told me I have the third overall pick, but it's currently showing I have the first overall pick.
Oh, that's an important difference in fantasy.
I might just. Who are you taking at number one if you're in a draft right now? Who are you taking at number one?
At one, I would take Jamar Chase.
Chase, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That's the thing. I want him, but I also want St. Brown.
I'm on Raw. He's as safe as it gets. His safe floor, ceiling is crazy high. He probably will go in the first round.
If I'm third, I'm taking St. Brown. Even though he's like 7th or 8th on the ESPN ranking, something like that. If I'm third, I'm picking down for St. Brown. If I'm first, I gotta go Chase, I guess.
Yeah, the only receivers I'd probably take ahead of him are probably Chase and Jefferson, maybe.
And Jefferson, I think, is questionable right now, right?
He might have gotten nicked up in practice. I'm assuming he's going to be fine, but I'm on Raw. It's hard to go wrong with him.
Jefferson. Those were my exact top three.
Yeah.
They're not ESPN's top three.
Yeah, ESPN's rankings every year is weird. For some reason they're always different from other, leagues rankings in fantasy, which I mean league to league, obviously there's different platforms, ESPN, there's Sleeper, there's Yahoo, so there's so many different ones, CBS Sports.
Chase at 1. I think they had Gibbs at 2.
Gibbs is high up there. I much prefer to have him at 2.
He was either 2 or 3. It was weird.
He should be closer to like 5 or 6, which is still very high. But
their top QB again is Allen.
Okay.
You know what though? I'm not worried about a first round QB. I'm really not.
Unless you're in a two quarterback league, you should be taking quarterback in the first round. For the most part.
Yes. 2 quarterback league. So
I guess it's okay to take when you it's justified, but you can still get a very good one.
I think I'll do a second round QB.
Yeah, in the second or third round, you can still get a very good one in the second, even in a 2 quarterback league.
I mean, I can probably still get like Mahomes if I want him.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. This is a group of people who know what they're doing. Like
all right.
These people, they're not like there's no amateurs in this league.
Okay.
So if anything, I'm probably coming in as like the slight underdog of all of them.
All right.
So I'm hoping it goes well. I've never used ESPN before, and I'm doing it for the first time on the computer because it's the only thing that's accessible. So I'm a little nervous about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we will see. I'm not, but I'm gonna. As soon as I get off here, I'm gonna go make myself some chicken wings and fries. I'm gonna have a few beers while I draft. It's gonna be good.
Sounds delicious. But actually, RedBox, you're in luck because my show today is actually centered around a lot of the roster moves in the NFL. So who knows? Yeah, so I've been trying to talk some fantasy as well. So actually Neil came on here yesterday and we were talking about the fantasy football. We were talking about the fantasy football league that he's doing. We were talking about the baseball league so we were also talking about the fantasy baseball league that we're all in. So this is good. We can sort of kind of
Plus, I can pull a huge reversal this weekend. I'm gone from Thursday to Saturday, so I won't have any I'll be able to check my teams maybe once at night, once in the morning, Thursday to Saturday. So I'm losing, I think 10-4 right now. It's not looking good.
Yeah, it's I mean, I usually in the morning I set my lineup I usually only chip once or twice, to be honest, in that league.
Very iffy about doing baseball next season. I don't enjoy it.
It's not the same as football.
I do not enjoy fantasy baseball.
I like this league that we're in, but it's just overall fantasy baseball is just not the same.
The league is not the problem. The league is great. Like, there's nothing wrong with Neil's fantasy league in terms of how it's run, who's in it. It's just the game.
Fantasy baseball in general, it's kind of eh.
I love watching baseball.
Same.
I don't love watching baseball stats.
Yeah, it can get tiring, especially in baseball. There's just so many. There's so many. The rosters are 26 people long. So just it's a lot. It really is a lot.
And for football, like I love hockey. Fantasy basketball is literally the only thing keeping me interested in the NBA. If it weren't fantasy basketball, which I despite my, I've been very vocal on this show about my criticisms of the NBA.
Yeah.
Despite those, I actually do really enjoy playing fantasy basketball.
Right.
And hockey's a given, and then football. I've played a couple kind of casual leagues in the past few years, but this is my first serious foray into it this season. So I'm thinking I will have no issues adapting to it.
All right.
I'm thinking I'm gonna love it. It's not too intensive. You don't have to be looking at your team at 4:00 on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
11 Wednesday.
Right.
Which that just drives me mad. But no, I think I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna be in at least 2 leagues. I'm trying to get in a third, but the guy at the managers.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Whenever the commissioner or the managers are not calling their way, it's very irritating.
That's a local one. It's run like in the town where I go to school.
Okay.
One of my friends one of his buddies runs it, and he doesn't answer.
Oh boy.
Anyway, let me stop taking away the format. Let me get to what you're getting to.
So we have a couple of injuries. So Joe Mixon's he was placed on the NFI list, the non-football injury list. He's got a foot and ankle injury. I think he had surgery not too long ago. He's gonna be out at least the first 4 weeks. One of the better backs in the league. He's got over 1,000 yards rushing each of his last 2 years. He's done that 5 times throughout his career. About 4 yards a carry the last 2 years. He's got also 20 rushing touchdowns the last 2 years. Last year, 36 catches for 309 yards and a touchdown. Had 52 catches the year before that. So he's a very good running back. For a running back getting a little bit up there in age, he's 29 years old. Recently turned 29. Look, last year, over 1,000 yards, just over 4 yards a carry, and 11 touchdowns on the ground. Was impactful in the passing game. But he's gonna miss the first 4 weeks, so that hurts for the Houston Texans. I wonder, could Dameon Pierce get some work? He was the guy. His rookie season, Dameon Pierce, I had him in fantasy, and he was really good. And then I felt this guy was gonna just launch it into maybe a different category. And just never happened. Combination of, he regressed. He's had some injuries. They went out and got Joe Mixon, who's just simply a better player. But I wonder, the first month of the season, could he be a guy that wouldn't be bad to have? So, but Mixon.
So it's been the issue with Mixon. He's been kind of injury prone throughout his career. Before it was officially announced today, there was a lot of chatter on the internet, just kind of about how he's getting up there and he's not reliable. So I think Houston was probably planning for this.
Yeah.
I think they've always kind of had this. If they didn't, there's some serious issues. But when he's in, he's 100%. But that's the problem. He hasn't always been. He's had some injuries that have really set his team back at times. And first 4 weeks of the season, it's not the end of the world,
right?
But it certainly isn't nothing either.
Yeah, it's almost like if you're drafting him, if you can, if he's like your second running back and your third can be passable as a second running back. or he's like your third running back you're taking, all right, that's probably at that point if you think he's still going to be very good, which I think is very possible. He's probably still worth taking, but if depends on how you're constructing your roster.
10-team league, I could very easily see Joe Mixon being on the waiver wire.
It's possible because he's gonna get when he's gonna get he's not going that high anyway. He's probably going like the middle rounds anyway. Now the injury is gonna push him down even further.
And I think it's a 13 or 14 round draft over there. Yeah, I could very easily see if he's going to be out that long. They hold on the waivers. Someone picks him up about a week or two out. You're looking at the scouting reports.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think.
He's gonna miss the first month, but
I don't think it's a huge concern if you're
right.
a mentor, but
It's not like he's going in the first round.
Yeah.
If he was to be different, but no, he's going in, I don't know, the 8th round or something like that, 8th, 9th round, something like that. So I think it's one of those things, every year there's a couple of guys that are going to be hurt to start the year, but they're going late enough, so you can draft them to your bench and then stash them and kind of go from there when he comes back, the first in a month later. And that's what I tried doing with TJ Hawkinson last year. It didn't really work out because he didn't contribute as much as I thought he would after coming back. But same kind of idea with Mixon. Maybe you draft him and kind of stash him, and then when October rolls around,
Exactly.
starts coming back, maybe he could be an option for you. But he's out the first 4 weeks. This isn't as much of a high profile player, but Tyjae Spears has been placed on injured reserve, so he'll also miss the first 4 weeks. He's got a high ankle sprain. I have him in one league. He didn't get a ton of touches last year because they have Tony Pollard there already. When he got touches late in the year, he was actually relatively effective. You look at his numbers, they don't look anything special. He only had 84 carries all last year, only had 100 the year before that. He's got a 4.2 yards a carry through his first 2 seasons. He only 760 career yards. Has less than 1,000 total yards in his career through 2 seasons. It's not a bad idea to have him if you have Tony Pollard. If he were to get hurt, Spears would his carries would jump in a hurry. I'm imagining that offense is going to run a bunch just because the offensive line is a little bit better. You have a rookie quarterback, and their weapons are kind of weak. Calvin Ridley's pretty good, but other than that, there isn't a whole lot there to me. So I'm imagining they're going to run the ball a good amount. So he's going late enough, but where it's not risky to draft him, especially if you have Tony Pollard, get his handcuff, but he is going to miss the first 4 weeks at least with a high ankle sprain.
Noticing a thing here.
Yeah. And then that's it in terms of injuries. That's at least that's broken so far.
With Joe Mixon, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Adam Thielen just got traded back to the Vikings.
I saw that this morning.
So, it's been talked about for a little bit, but I was surprised that when it first started being talked about, that Carolina was pushing so hard to shop him. I'm not surprised he got traded because I saw it coming. I'm surprised it was a conversation in the first place because he had a good year last year. He's been very good for Carolina the last couple of years when he's been healthy. But he returns to where he started his career in Minnesota.
One of the few high points of that team.
Right, exactly. 5th round pick this year, 4th round next year, heads to Minnesota. To Carolina. Minnesota grabs Thielen, along for a conditional 7th round this year and a 5th rounder next year. He had some outstanding seasons in Minnesota. Looking at his exact numbers, he had over 1,200 yards in back-to-back years in 17 18 in his 2 Pro Bowl years. Even those last few years in Minnesota where he wasn't, as effective, he still had over 700 yards every single year. He had 14 touchdowns in 2020, and he's been quietly very good for Carolina the last 2 years. 2 years ago, had a really good year, had 103 catches for over 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns. 2023. Last year, missed a lot of time, only played 10 games. He missed a ton of injuries, but he had 48 catches for 615 yards and 5 touchdowns in 10 games. So uh, he had a pretty big target share because the rest of that receiving core was really, really bad. They took Leggett I think in the first round actually last year. He wasn't very good. They took a flyer on Jalen Coker. He was a little bit more productive down the stretch, but overall didn't do anything special. And they were a run first team. Obviously, Bryce Young didn't really play even competent football till the second half of the year. He was really bad before he got benched. So
Team in that way too.
yeah, Minnesota's very good. Justin Jefferson is an elite level receiver, obviously. Jordan Addison is suspended the first 3 games, so keep that in mind when doing fantasy. He is suspended the first 3 games because, like every young receiver, he loves to drive way too fast. And he got suspended for 3 games. And but then the third receiver and the second receiver for the first 3 games is probably Thielen. He is going to be 35, but he's still a very reliable, very solid wide receiver. And he heads back to Minnesota. Somebody else who is affected in fantasy by this is probably Ted McMillan, the Panthers' first round pick. He already was going to have a pretty big target share. Now it's going to be even bigger. I do expect them to run the ball a lot. Chuba Hubbard was really good last year. They gave him a big extension. They bring in Rico Dowdle, who was strong down the stretch last year for Dallas. But when you look at their weapons to Carolina after Tet, it's not anything special by any means. So I think Tet's a good pickup in fantasy. He's going, I think, in like the 6th, 7th round, something like that, maybe the 8th. So that's another guy who was affected a little bit indirectly by the trade, for the Adam Thielen trade. But he is going back to where it all started in Minnesota.
Yeah, that's I will definitely try and grab him.
Yeah, especially those first few weeks, he should he could be a decent sleeper. He's not a bad guy to have on your bench. He was already a nice guy to have on your bench. So that's he's not a bad option. I feel like listening, as you can see, I'm trying to incorporate fantasy football into my shows when I talk about football. We got a lot of guys, a lot of roster moves going on. The Raiders have a bunch of stuff going on. I mean, the Kenny Pickett trade, getting a 5th rounder for him, that's not important. He's a backup. O'Connell was out the first few months. He broke his hand or his finger, but they pick him up for God knows why. I guess to back up Geno Smith while I know O'Connell's hurt. They bring back Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper. So Amari, on the backside of his career for sure. He had at least 1,000 yards from 2018 to 2023 outside of 2021. He had 1,000 yards every year. Last year, not a great year between Cleveland and Buffalo. 44 catches, 547 yards, and 4 touchdowns in 14 games. The Bills trade for him at the trade deadline, and he did not make as much of an impact as they thought he was going to. He had only 20 catches in 8 games for less than 300 yards. He was drafted originally by the Raiders, actually the 4th pick in the draft back in 2015. He had a couple of decent years there, had a bunch of injuries. This is when they were still in Oakland, and got sent to Dallas mid-season in 2018. That's really where his career kind of took off, and he became a relatively elite level receiver. He's not the same player anymore. I think he gets a year for $6 million, but he heads to the Raiders. Keep in mind, one, their receiving core is a little bit weak outside him, and 2, Jacoby Myers, who had a career last year for the Raiders, last year had 87 catches for over 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns. He has requested a trade. He's going into the last year of his contract. He wants an extension. He's not been able to get it yet, and he has requested a trade. The Raiders have said that they don't plan on trading him. I'm not sure where their contract talks are right now. They only have another week to go until the season starts, so they better get a move on that. But Oh, he has requested a trade. So there is a possible chance he's either sent out before the season starts, maybe sometime early in the season, especially if the Raiders aren't aren't contenders, which I don't expect them to be in year one of the Pete Carroll tenure. The division's relatively competitive in the AFC West. I think it's fair to say they're the worst team in that division. With the rest of it, obviously you have Kansas City, the Chargers and the Broncos. Maybe they can slip past one of those teams, but I don't think they're going to be much of a contender this year. And there's a chance you never know. Maybe he holds out into the season. So keep in mind, yes, Amari Cooper doesn't really have a whole lot left. He was not good down the stretch last year, but outside of Brock Bowers at tight end and Ashton Genty at running back, the receiving core is a little bit light outside of Mark Cooper because Myers might be getting traded, at least before the trade deadline. And after that, it's not a whole lot else is there. But that's most of the stuff pertaining to fantasy football. Uh, Bengals give Trey Hendrickson a raise, so we went through all this drama just for him to get a $14 million raise. He will now make $30 million this year instead of 16. He will still be a free agent after the season. Who knows? Basically, maybe he was just like, look, you know what? At this point, I know you're not going to trade me, and I don't want to be here next year. Just give me a raise, and then in the offseason, we can revisit this. That could be a way of saying he wants to leave after the season. But he gets a raise. No true extension, but he gets a raise. And then the Browns got Deontay Johnson. That's not impactful by any means, but it's just hilarious that he's had 8 roster transactions in the last 18 months. The guy's not very good. He's a locker room, large problem in the locker room. Last year he was on Carolina, gets traded, I think, to Baltimore. He was invisible for a few games. He basically cried about getting touches, and they cut him. Houston picked him up. He didn't play for 2 games. Basically quit on the team. They let him go. I think the Ravens picked him up again. Didn't play him. Cut him in the offseason. Cleveland picked him up in April, and he didn't even make the roster. So he's had been very busy. Been moving around a lot this last year and a half, but he's once again available and as a free agent because he was let go by the Cleveland Browns to not make their roster. Bills brought back Jordan Poyer. He was in Miami last year. Had somewhat decent year. He's getting a little bit older. He's going to be 34 this year. Last year had 98 tackles, 3 pass defenses, and a quarterback hit. Was just kind of okay in coverage. He's not the guy that was first team All-Pro in 2021, or even the guy in 2022 who made the Pro Bowl. But he's still a decent starting safety. He was with the Bills from 2017 to 2023. Was in Miami for a year last year. Now he's back in Buffalo. So Poyer returns to Buffalo. And that's about all I have for the NFL roster moves. And then we'll probably talk. I think I'm going to go over my top 5 fantasy quarterbacks, and also going to talk. The Ryder Cup captain's picks came in, so I'll probably talk about that.
They did.
Finish off the show. So he picked. Let me just pull it up one more time.
Did he pick himself?
He did not. He decided not to pick himself.
Because I know that was the big headline going into
Yeah,
this game. I just right when literally I was walking out the door and I got the notification, watch live, U.S. captain picks. So
yeah, so the 6 that automatically qualified were Scotty Scheffler, of course, JJ Spawn, Xander Schauffele, Russell Henley, Harris English, and Bryson DeChambeau. And now these are the 6 captains picks. Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, Cameron Young, Patrick Cantley, Sam Burns, and there's one more. It's Griffin.
So they kept to the PGA again.
So I'm trying to get clarification on who Griffin is.
Kept to the PGA again. He didn't go and pick any.
No, yeah.
Who's the European team this year?
Oh, it's Ben Griffin. That's who Griffin is. Ben Griffin. Apparently, he's ninth in FedEx Cup points, first ever Ryder Cup. As for the Europe, yeah, I've never even heard of that guy. Let's look up the European team. Last I checked, they had only had a couple of automatic qualifiers. So this is what their team is right now. Luke Donald is their captain.
Yeah.
Their team right now is Rory McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwood, who just won the Fast Cup, Justin Rose, Tyrrell Hatton, Robert McIntyre, and Rasmus Hogard. Those are the automatic qualifiers. What about Hatton?
He's on 54, right?
Not sure, but those are the automatic qualifiers for the European team. I don't think Luke Donald has named his captain's picks yet.
You've got Ben Griffin as the last up on the USA team.
I know, it's dumb.
This is why the live people and the PGA people need to figure all their nonsense
I know.
out, because you're getting joke teams like this,
I know.
where there's obvious exclusions that are on the live tour,
Yeah,
who aren't
Dustin Johnson.
Dustin Johnson, the most notable.
Mhm.
It's the prestige of the Ryder Cup in the past few years, ever since this whole fiasco started. I don't think anyone can make the argument that the Ryder Cup hasn't lost a certain level of prestige.
I think it has. I remember 2 Ryder Cups ago. It was, the U.S. won. It was awesome, and we were looking up a team. We're like, most of this team is probably coming back, and then all of a sudden, the live stuff happens, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, a lot of the team isn't coming back.
They had DeChambeau.
Yeah.
I think it was one other guy from Live.
Yeah.
And they do it because, and I think DeChambeau was a captain's pick even last time around.
Yeah.
They do it to kind of give it that air of legitimacy. But again, like on the European team, how is John Rahm?
Yeah. So
he's had a great year.
I know.
He's been in contention at all the live events. He's been in contention at several of the majors. How is John Rahm not on that team? If he is not a captain's pick,
it'd be very surprising. And by the way, I just read that he's gonna make his captain picks on Monday. So in 5 days, he's gonna make it at 9 a.m. Eastern time on Sky Sports as well as the Ryder Cup platforms. So if you're up early, you can watch him make his.
I'm wondering to see what he does.
But yeah, he's gonna make his captain's picks then. So Monday morning he's gonna name them. This doesn't mean everything, but the European Ryder Cup rankings are as follows for players not on the team. The 7th through 13th ranked players in terms of Europeans.
Yeah.
Is Shane Lowry, Sepp Straka, Ludwig Aberg, Victor Hovland, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Matt Wallace, and Thomas Detry. Aaron Rise at 15. Harry Hall was at 17. I don't know who that is. And John Rahm's at 24th.
Yeah.
That's probably like overall. So he's one of the best Europeans.
Those other 6 on the European team, that's a pretty solid group, and I think you've got to favor the Europeans going into the Ryder Cup this year. You have to. As much as I hate to say it, without Rahm, that is still a respectable squad. The U.S. can't say the same. And
no,
I mean, I'm sure. I'm sure he was under some pressure not to pick any live guys. I know that's still a big thing.
Yeah.
Even though the Ryder Cup is technically independent,
Yeah, and like you said, like DeChambeau keeps getting picked, and part of it is DeChambeau is one of the best players in the world.
He had his major. He was top six though.
Yeah, so that's true. He got it on his own.
20 was it 21 or when was the last playoff?
Thinking 23.
Because I know that there were some weird things around the COVID years.
That's yeah, it got mixed up. I know. I think actually they may have had it last year because I remember.
I think it was, and
Yeah,
the captain picked DeChambeau, even though he was. I don't even think
yeah,
he was anywhere near the top 12 in that. But yeah, I just think. I just think these events they've got to let the actual best players because
absolutely,
it's not supposed to be the best players on the PGA and the Ryder Cup. It's supposed to be the best players in professional golf.
exactly.
Like it or not, 54 is here to stay. I'm not a fan of it either.
Right.
You know, I don't love 54, but I was one of those kind of mavericks at the start. Who's like, we've got to come down on them. It didn't work. It didn't work,
No.
and I'm more than okay to admit when a policy doesn't work, and that it clearly didn't. And they said, "Yeah, we're sticking the course. We've got money. We don't care." All right, you know what? You've earned your place in the golf world. I hate to say it, but you have,
Yeah.
and we've got to start working with that.
Exactly. Like yeah, like obviously who Live is funded by is unfortunate, and it's not the most moral stuff over there. But well, like you said, Redbox, this thing is here to stay. Live Golf is not going anywhere. And regardless of what you think of it, not you, but what anybody else thinks of it, it's good. It's going to be staying.
The year after Live was established, the PIF started putting a whole bunch of money into the PGA too.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
their hands are no longer clean.
Right. So yeah, this is here saying people just need to get used to it.
I do have to run.
Right.
To make whatever this meal is before I go. So I do have to get out of here. Unfortunately, I can't stay for the whole show today, but I will try and come around next week because, of course, NFL starts Thursday. I'll try and come and talk a few game previews with you next week.
Absolutely. Redbox, thank you for coming on. You're welcome anytime. Like always, take care. Best of luck in your fantasy draft. And we are going to finish things out right now. We're going to do my top 5 fantasy football quarterbacks, according to me. And then that's going to be all for today. At 5, I have Joe Burrow. I thought about Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, he's an amazing talent. And weapons should be better this year. We'll have Rashee Rice at some point. By the way, Rashee Rice has been suspended for the first 6 games of the season. So keep that in mind when you're drafting him. Healthy Hollywood Brown. I don't know why he's getting out of Kelsey. I know he just got engaged with Taylor Swift. Hooray for him, I guess. And but he'll be on the field. We'll see what they get out of him. And then Isaiah Pacheco's healthy at running back. Thought about him. I also thought about Baker Mayfield, who is a good quarterback. And he's got a ton of weapons. But Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase is one of his best friends. He's maybe the best receiver in football. You have T. Higgins. Both of them are now signed to big contracts. T. Higgins is also a great receiver. You have a running back in Chase Brown that can catch the ball. Having him as the top back the whole season, I think, will be helpful. And then they have Mike Gesicki still at tight end. He's serviceable. The guy was elite last year without a defense. He still doesn't have much of a defense. However, you draft Shamar Stewart. You sell the Trey Henderson thing for now. You brought in a new coordinator. Hopefully they're at least a little bit better defensively. Hopefully, I'm opposed to being, maybe the worst in the league, maybe they're, I don't know, 8th worst in the league or something. But I have him at 5. There's no reason why he shouldn't be elite again. 4, I have Jane Daniels. The guy obviously had a great rookie year. Ran away with offensive rookie of the year. Obviously, Terry McLaurin just got extended. So he's back. You bring in Deebo Samuel. Not sure what he has left, but he's definitely a better second receiver than whatever the heck their second receiver besides Terry McLaurin was last year. They do move Brian Robinson. But I think this guy, Merritt, they really like. I think they would trade Brian Robinson for nothing if were confident in him. I think, and Jaden, he's so athletic. He's an incredible runner as well. He should be definitely one of the top quarterbacks. I had him at 4. At 3, I have Jalen Hurts. And the Hurts is probably the worst overall talent on this list. However, AJ Brown's a stud. Vonta Smith is really good. Dallas Goedert is really good. You still have Saquon, who's still a beast. He just has so many weapons. He's a good quarterback, and he runs a lot. He's going to get a lot of rushing touchdowns, of course, because of the tush push, which is helpful. So, he's a guy, even if he only has like 210 yards and 1 passing touchdown, he might also add 2 rushing touchdowns as well. Number 2 is Josh Allen. I think it's kind of self-explanatory. The guy's a stud. He throws for a lot of yards. Even those weapons aren't great. Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Dalton Kincaid. I mean, it's not horrible. James Cook will catch a few passes as well. And he's just an exceptional talent because he has such a good arm. He'll throw for a lot of yards. And he runs a lot as well. Number 1's Lamar Jackson. Say what you want about Lamar, as an overall NFL player, about him in the playoffs. In fantasy, to me, he's the number 1 quarterback. I get, the passing game sometimes is kind of He won't throw for a ton of yards. One of his weapons outside of Zay Flowers. Mark Andrews is still good. Other than that, it's DeAndre Hopkins is very, very old. Rashad Bateman's just okay. But he runs so much. He gets racks up so many points from rushing that even if he only has 200 yards and 1 or 2 touchdowns, he's good for 50 yards and a touchdown on the ground. So he's pretty much good for 23, 25 points guaranteed every game. Even in the off game, he's still going to give you 18 to 20 points. And a big game for him, he's pushing 35, 40 points. So those are my top 5 fantasy football quarterbacks. That's all I got for you guys today. Till next time, so long. Have a great day.